Hi there, it's Melissa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict Cut File design team, and we are doing layouts all week for Virginia's latest, and I guess it's her first official release, and it's for Animal Kingdom. And so she put 17 files into her shop. If you're in the Facebook group you would have seen them, and I chose a duck. We all chose something different and we're all showing you how you can use them. So I decided to cut 3 of them. So I cut them in 3 different sizes. As you can see, my silhouette did not cut cleanly. This is not the fault of the cut file. I think it's actually the fault of me, but I use a precision blade and I probably could have done a double cut or slowed the speed down to make it cut better. So I just used my scissors to pop out the little intricate pieces that didn't come off the mat. And here with the next duck, I wanted this to look like a mummy duck and 2 ducklings, and what I find is that the 3rd duck, because of my blade and how I had it set up, really didn't cut at all, so I've decided to just go for 2. So this is my April hip kit, and I'm just going through trying to decide how to back my ducks, and I just pointed at those flowers on that Chamel paper with the buildings because I thought they would look good on the layout. So I had a bit of white cardstock in here too. So just going through, trying to make a decision on either what to back them with or whether I want to use a pattern paper for my background. And this one here, I've decided kind of to be lazy because I didn't really want to back the entire cut file. So I went with this, it's a Paige Evans Horizon, like a painterly kind of look. And I like it because it's got lots of colour on it, and it helps give interest to the cut file rather than just backing it in one colour or one pattern. So I just showed you, I didn't show you, I briefly showed you that I'd cut these cut files without all the detail, and all you do is delete, what am I trying to say? You release the compound path and you delete all the inner parts. Now I tried to do a video to show you on QuickTime Movie Player, but it didn't really work. But hopefully if I do this technique again, I will aim to do a video showing you how to do that on your silhouette. So here I have, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you've seen my glue battles, and I've finally given up on the Scotch Quick Dry, and all I've got left at the moment is this close to my heart liquid glass, which is like glossy accents, and it worked really well. So just yeah, I didn't glue every little piece because I would have been there gluing forever, but just the main pieces and just some of the glue in those center pieces. So yeah, just what you need to do with liquid glass or glossy accents is mop up the excess, otherwise it's going to dry glossy. So here I've, yeah, excuse that, I've just cut the duck's head off. And if you want to position the eye exactly where it's meant to be, you just use that inner piece as like a stencil, and then that positions the eye where it's meant to be. So I didn't show you me doing the other one because it's exactly the same process. And there are my ducks, and I love how they've come out with that pattern paper as the to fill in the cut file. So now I am drawing a pond because my idea was to be a bit literal, I guess, with this one and have a mama duck and her baby duck in front of a pond, because the photos are of Brielle several years ago feeding the ducks. Now I just drew it roughly, and I'm sorry, but I did not for some reason export across the video of me doing the pond, but all I did was colour it with blue watercolour paint, and then I splattered some blue Studio Calico Mr. Huey's on it just to give it a bit of texture. You'll see that soon. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I am just covering these ducks with foam. So I've got the adhesive sided foam, which is great, and I just love that I can just cut them to the sizes that I want. So with the little baby duck, I just want to put the foam on the places where it will be against the pond, and then I don't think I put foam where it crosses the mummy duck. No, I'm wrong. So I put 2 layers of foam to lift it up and only 1 layer where it sits against the mum. So I just left all of this in just to show you the entire process. Yeah, so what's been going on around here lately? Well, it's well and truly close to winter now. It's gotten a lot colder. The light is awful. I think I've said that in a recent video. When I film during the day, it's either too bright or kind of dark. So here is my pond, and you'll see the white splatters on it. And then I pierced around the edges, and I want to add a bit more texture just by stitching around the pond. So don't judge me on the way I store my thread. It's the easiest way. Yeah, and I had 2 to choose from. I also considered white. So that's Ava's little hand helping me there. Yeah, it's quite challenging scrapping when you've got a little 2-year-old watching. That's a piece of toast with peanut butter. And very soon it will cut to a little clip of her. I just wanted to show you because just what she's like now. I don't think you've seen her in a video for a long time, so I will cut to that in a second.
Okay.
Want to say hi?
Hi. Okay.
What are you doing? So I hope you enjoyed that little look at Ava. I did not film on landscape with my phone. I filmed portrait, which is why it's got the black edges on it. So sorry about that. But yeah, it was like a split decision just to show you her, since her little hands feature in my videos. Yeah, so I try to occupy her so that she's not disturbing me, because the best time for me without lights is to get this done during the day, but sometimes I have to scrap with her there. So I try not to get too stressed about it. She likes to grab all my supplies and try to help me with the layout. So yeah, here I am just putting double-sided tape on the majority of that foam, and I'll also, where it's too thin, use some more of that liquid glass. I've also got a really thin double-sided tape that you can see to the left there. It's actually quite handy for when you just need a really thin piece. So yeah, super speed of taking off the backing. I think that's one of the most annoying parts of scrapbooking, is taking off all that adhesive. And speaking of Ava, here she comes. Okay, so I'm kind of hiding out in my bedroom trying to get this done, but Ava, of course, always finds me wherever she is. Okay, so on to the layout, and now it's the fun time, which is embellishing. So I was going to call it Feeding the Ducks or something like that, and I just used these Horizon thicker words to make the title, Happy Adventure, because I actually think I've scrapped about us maybe not feeding the ducks, but we used to drop the other 2 off at the bus stop and then go for a walk after that, and I've scrapped about that, and so I don't really need to call it anything else other than this. So here, yeah, I've got these 3 photos. Sorry, you can hear Ava in the background again. And I just needed something at the bottom just to ground this whole layout. So I decided to go with this paper. It's really beautiful. When I first saw that it was in the kit, I did wonder how I was going to use it, but I've ended up loving it, and it's probably one of my favourite papers in this kit. It's a Horizon paper as well, and I think it's inspired by floor tiles. But anyway, I think it looks good. It's quite subtle. I didn't want anything too overpowering, so I wanted the ducks, obviously, and the photos to be the feature of this page. So then I'm just working out how I want these photos. I think, yeah, I back all of them in pattern paper. So for the middle one, which is this one, I'm using the other side of that pattern. And I'm just wanting a really thin border. I'm not wanting anything too full on. It's really just to probably separate this photo because it's of her face looking at me, and the other 2 are of her feeding and looking at the ducks. And so I did consider not backing the other ones, but then I thought, no, let's back them as well. And this one as well, I think, is inspired by a floor pattern, also from Horizon. So just having a really thin border of pink, like you wouldn't even tell what the pattern was when you look at these photos, but it's just enough to separate them all. So super speedy cutting there. I wish I could cut that fast in real life. Yeah, so you can see what I'm going for there. And I think the pink and the blue kind of go with the colours in this layout, which are pink and blue and yellow. So just using some double-sided tape again to adhere them. It's definitely my adhesive of choice. I have not been able to find anything else really here. There are tape runners, but I don't know how good they are. They're not a brand that I know, and I don't know how well they would hold things down in the future, but I know that this tape definitely will keep everything in place. So here are the ephemera pieces from Horizon. I think I'd sorted them into colours for a previous layout I did, and I loved that, what does it say? I can't even see. Loving this, I think it says. Yeah, that little banner, which I thought was sweet. And also those moths, they're also from that ephemera pack as well. So I'm making my way through these little tiny dots for adhesive. What am I trying to say? Little foam dots. And you can use the backing part as well. And so those little round ones are really perfect for little embellishments. And then these are the flower die cuts, and they are so pretty. I needed something to go behind these ducks just to give it a bit more. So I wanted to represent the fact that the duck pond is in an urban area. It's actually in the subdivision that we live in. There's two ponds and the same ducks go between both. I think they must be the most well-fed ducks in New Zealand because they are continually being fed. And so just to represent that urban look, I've gone with these flowers. Now, there aren't flowers around the pond like this in real life. It would be amazingly beautiful if it was. I think there's more reeds and a few other appropriate kind of, even some native species, I think. But I just love the whimsy that these little flower clusters add. And I love that the work's done for you in that they're already a cluster of flowers. So here I glued the bottom of each of these embellishments or the flowers, and then I put the foam to lift them up at the top. I think I might have even lifted up by bending the leaves as well, or the flowers. So yeah, I've got my own little ecosystem going on here. I've got the flowers, I've got the water of the pond, I've got the dragonfly and moth. I've got Ava's little hands trying to help me out. I cut it out, but she went to town on those flowers and leaves, trying to go through them for herself and trying to help me with the layout. So my final touch is to add these enamel hearts from Chamel, a Sparkle City, I think, and then add my journaling. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this layout. I think I may be the last person in the lineup with the design team, but make sure that you follow Confessions of a Paper Addict on Facebook. I'll put the link below, but you can also follow Virginia's Instagram page as well, and of course all of us on the design team on Instagram, definitely YouTube and possibly Facebook. So thank you so much for watching. I will link these the cut file shop below. Take care.